Hi Cancer. So I am now finally starting in on the cardinal signs. So I thought I would start with cardinal water. All right, so Cancer, what we're doing are, I'm calling these the Christmas Celtic crosses. So we're shuffling the cards right now for you. Can we get an accurate Celtic cross for cardinal water, please? Accurate Celtic cross for cardinal water, please. Feeling like 3 piles. Accurate Celtic cross for cardinal water, please. Making the middle one standing out. Okay, bottom of the deck. So we've got Judgment. This is one of the major arcana cards for Scorpio. I don't know if that means anything to you. Generally, the obvious things about this card is the phrase wake up call, okay? Because we see the Archangel Gabriel there blowing his horn. And you can imagine that you can see like the sound, effects coming out of the horn there. And whatever has happened, it's been so powerful, whether it was an epiphany or a lesson learned, it has been so powerful, or bumping into someone, or just something that caused whatever this wake-up call was, or this epiphany or lesson learned or realization. It's powerful enough to raise people from the dead. The other thing that I want you to look at in this card is in the front part of the card, there's a man, a woman, and a child who look like they're standing up out of the coffin, but there is almost like a mirror reflection of them in the background, okay? The man, the woman, and the child. We're going to take a little break in the tape in a minute, but so meaning that sometimes in order to reach this epiphany that you've had, you would have to look back on the past, examine everything that you did, figure out what did and didn't work, and have the epiphany. In terms of the idea of resurrecting a relationship from your past, or resurrecting something from your past, bumping into someone, realizing that some partner from your past who you thought was dead to you, as in this coffin, is really your soulmate, the person that you want to be with. So that's where this, you'll hear a lot of people calling this the reunification card. So if you're wanting to get back with an ex, this is a happy sight, Cancer, for you to see, because it is one of the reunification cards. Okay, so that was at the bottom of the deck. So we are now going to lay out your Celtic cross, okay? All right. Just gonna move these cards up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's look at what the issue is, Cancer. Oh, wow, okay, do not panic. So we have another card, well, another card of Scorpio. Don't panic. We have the Death card. Does this signify that someone's gonna die? Almost never, okay? What this card means is that there has been, or will be, or something has been triggered, and amazing that Judgment was at the bottom of the deck, a complete and total transformation in one's, the way one does things, one's thought, one's personality, one's ideology, your outlook on life, a complete and utter transformation, okay? In this card, okay, we see that there is only one human being who is dead, who is lying on the ground, and he is the king. I'll just show you, okay? So you can see him lying there. There's his head, his feet. Okay, so the king is dead. The king obviously had laws and rules and a structure, and, you know, probably some kind of constitution, you know, and principles. Well, this is the death of those rules, laws, structures. It's the death of the way of doing something, death of, it can be death of a personality, a transformed ideology. You know, you talk about bumping into people after they've made positive changes in life, and you often hear people say they're totally transformed. Okay, so this is positive transformation. It is a dawn card, so it's associated with the sun rising. How do we know that the sun is rising? Now I have to give you a little warning here. My camera reverses every image. So I'm looking at this card right now, and I see the sun rising in the east, okay? I also see there's a boat floating on the river, and the river is clearly, according to the boats, the way it's positioned, the bow and the stern, it is flowing toward the sun, meaning that the river is flowing toward the east, the sun is rising toward the east. It's dawn. It is not, you know, it doesn't signify this dark, ominous night about to start. It's dawn, and the sun is just coming up, okay? And I'll just show you. So you're going to see everything reversed. It's going to look like it's in the west, but it's not, because my camera reverses all the images. So if you could imagine that sun being over there, which it is when I'm looking at it, it's in the east, okay? Just letting you know this is a good card. It's about dawn, okay? You know, and there are people there in the card pleading, you know, please don't let the king die, of course, because there's always some resistance, okay, to positive change. This is a good card, okay? All right, now, what challenges you? Okay, wow, so some Sagittarius energy coming in here. So the Temperance card showed up in your challenge position. So you can see that, you know, the things that are very glaring about this card. We've got the 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on the ground theme there. You know, which means that, you know, this connection, this Temperance is able to connect the physical with the spiritual, and vice versa, okay? As well, you know, they call her the ultimate alchemist, because she's able to combine, you know, earth and water and fire and water. She's able to combine two elements that you know, otherwise would not be able to be combined, but she does it. People talk about patience when they see this card coming up. It's because it takes some time to modify, when you're dealing with something that has to be carefully combined or modified, or two people that are coming together that are really different. In order to make the relationship work, sometimes changes have to be made, modifications have to be made, sacrifices have to be made. Hence, it does take some time, okay? Patience, you know. So perhaps your challenge is something like that. Perhaps you're faced with the challenge of making something work, okay? As an example, in a family situation or in a relationship, if you're the one who's trying to do the mediating and the healing, and trying to ensure that two people who are really, really different don't cause an explosion, you know, when they get together. You know, you can apply it to your own circumstances. You're probably hearing this now and going, oh yeah, I will. So that's in your challenge position. Okay. I've just heard these words in my head. There's somebody that you have to be patient with. So I feel like someone is really causing you some trouble. And the very simple message is, whoa, your patience is being tried, but you'll make it, Cancer. You're very sensitive, very good to talk to, emotionally nurturing person. Sorry, I didn't mean to stereotypified Cancer. All right, let's look at what crowns the reading. So this position, generally they call it the highest that can be obtained in the situation. I always say that can be limited, by your thoughts. So if this card disappoints you, well, let's just look at it and figure it out. Okay, what is it? Well, oh my, Cancer, you just showed up in your own reading. Okay, this is beautiful. Okay, there you are. Look at you. So Queens are cardinal. Okay, cups of water. Cancer's cardinal. Cancer, you are sort of the mover and the shaker, the fresh idea of all of the water signs. Okay, you're it. There's only one cardinal element to each suit. And so you are cardinal water. Let's talk about this card a little bit. So all queens, okay, even the Queen of Pentacles, believe it or not, even the Queen of Swords, okay, believe it or not, their elemental nature is water, okay? So the Queen of Cups is like water on water. There's a lot of water. Let me show you how much water there is. There is a giant seashell at the very top of her throne. Do you see it? Like it's huge seashell. There are little mermaids, that flank the seashell, and even one embedded down in the in her throne there. There is a lot of water, and she's very comfortable by the water. Okay. Now, let me explain what this means for this particular queen. And Cancer, if you don't find that you fit into this category, it's probably because... Sorry, Cancer, as I was saying, I'm about to discuss the card that is crowning your reading, which is the Queen of Cups. So cardinal water. Cancer has just showed up in her own reading. She's crowning a reading, which is beautiful. I just wanted to, I had made a little footnote there that if you're listening to this and you are Cancer and you find that what I'm about to say does not describe you, please keep listening. It probably means that it's just, if you're watching this from your sun sign, so if you're, when you look up in the paper, your horoscope in the West, this is what we put in. And it has to do with the position that our little bodies were in when we were born in comparison to the actual sun, okay? Same thing with the moon sign. Well, the rising sign is a little bit more complicated. So it has to do with at the time when you were born, okay, where you were in relation to your constellation at the time of the sun rising in the east. So I generally find that people that were born very early in the morning, that the rising signs will be the same as their sun signs. But anyway, look, if you don't find that you match what I'm about to discuss, it's probably, try watching, if you know what your rising sign is, watch your rising sign. So if your rising sign is Taurus or Leo, watch Taurus or Leo. And just see if those readings resonate a little bit more for you. Okay? It may be that you don't have a lot of water in your chart, that it's only your sun sign. Okay, enough of that. So I'm just going to describe the Queen of Cups, okay, which is your card. Okay, it's the card, in the minor arcana for you. Every decision that she makes is heart over head, okay? She is very comfortable with her emotions. She is also very capable and comfortable with subconscious memories and subconscious information evolving into the conscious realm. So, I don't know if you just saw that little orb there. It always happens when you least expect it. Anyway, sorry, there's going to be a break in the tape in a moment. So a lot of people are very uncomfortable with their emotions, with facing their heart. Cancer. But the Queen of Cups is anything but guarded. She's all heart, okay? In fact, she makes decisions based on what her heart tells her to do. Personally, I applaud that, okay? I know that there are people out there, probably a bunch of earth signs and air signs too, for sure. But I really, really, really love the Queen of Cups. So she's also the best person to talk to if you need some nurturing or some emotional support. You go to a Cancer, you go to the Queen of Cups, okay? You do not go to the Queen of Cups if you have a problem that is going to require, some very serious hunkering down. So if you have a very serious problem that's complicated, you're probably going to want to go to the Queen of Swords, okay? She'll discern, she'll cut out all this stuff that isn't relevant and make sure that the decision that you make is fair to everyone, balanced, logical, all that kind of stuff. Don't ask the Queen of Cups for strategic advice because it's all heart, okay? But you know what? You never know. People who make decisions with their heart a lot of the time seem like the losers in the beginning, but in the end, I think they always win. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So, also, something kind of mysterious and tarot related. The High Priestess, which is one of your major arcana cards, she has all the sacred knowledge, okay, related. I'm going to sneeze, hang on. Sorry about that. The High Priestess, which is one of your major arcana cards, she's considered to be the unattainable woman. She is so intuitive and knowledgeable. In fact, the depth of her knowledge. She has knowledge of everything, all the conscious, the subconscious, the conscious memories, subconscious memories, things that cannot be put into words. Knowledge that is beyond words, the High Priestess has. But the problem is she doesn't talk except for one person, you, Cancer. She will speak to the Queen of Cups. Perhaps that's the High Priestess giving a nod to making heart overhead decisions. Anyway, what does it mean that this is crowning your reading? That you want to get back to you? So I'll give you sort of a serious interpretation of this card being in that position, and then I'll give you a not so serious interpretation. The serious interpretation I would have if if the Queen of Cups, if you're Cancer and the Queen of Cups is crowning your reading, would be that you should be trying to get back to being yourself, okay? To get back to being nurturing and being comfortable with your emotions and things like that. The not so serious message might be that there's an issue that requires you to make a heart over head decision, and maybe you're being too logical about something. So I'll just leave that with you, and let's move on through the reading. So the tools that you're bringing in, you're about to make a major decision about something, or an Aries man is about to make a major decision about you, or a fire sign man. And if that is the case, this person is thinking about asking you to marry him. Okay? I'm looking at the Two of Wands, which is right under your reading. He kind of looks, they say that this man is very likely an investor, and the way that he's dressed, the divinatory suggestion was that he's a foreign investor. Anyway, that's exciting. Okay, let's look at your recent past. Oh, wow. Okay, so what was at the bottom of the deck again? Judgment. Look at this. This is a nice thing. You have had an epiphany about something. So here's your friend Pisces here. Here's the Hanged Man in the recent past. Now this person went to a great deal of trouble to hang from the tree of life, okay, in order to come to some sort of understanding with the divine to figure things out. A modern interpretation of this is to get a new perspective. And the Hanged Man always does, oops, this is a card of Pisces, because you can see that glow around his head is the indication that he's got the new perspective. Yeah, I won't go into detail about this card right now, but it's a really interesting card. And you know, if you ever wonder why one leg is bent and why the arms, you know, form a triangle like that, you know, there is, if you look at geometric shapes, there is ancient meaning to a cross and a triangle, and this is gonna be breaking the tape. Yeah, so we were talking about, you know, if you ever wonder why the Hanged Man always has one leg bent, sort of forming a cross, one leg is straight, one leg is bent, and his arms form a triangle. Originally the Hanged Man was hanging from the tree of life, okay? And he was trying desperately to sort of gain some of the incredible wisdom of the divine, okay, to arrive at some understanding. Maybe there was something that really troubled him, or he couldn't figure it out and he needed to get some peace. Well, he got it. And those two shapes generally related to the Ankh key, or I can't remember what the historical how it came to be a cross and a triangle, but generally when these things are positioned like that, it means sacred completion, okay? So he arrived at the epiphany quite well. So far we've got you wanting to going through some major transformation, okay? You may have been faced with the challenge of making things work, okay? Whether it was, and initially it may have seemed impossible, or someone might have told you it wasn't possible. Well, you did it, okay? It took a lot of patience, but you did it. Now you want to get back to being yourself. You may have felt that you've been too harsh with someone and you want to be more nurturing. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out why you're crowning your own reading. I do see a male coming in with a very serious offer for you, and he's already made his decision, so there ain't nothing you can do about it. He's coming. In your recent past, you had to sort of go out of your way to get to be at peace with something, but you got there. You did what was necessary to do. Let's look at your very near future. Okay, so you're going to be building something. Look, I'm looking at the Three of Pentacles there. This is very good energy. This is Capricorn energy, okay? Capricorns build, they just keep building. They build. They're very secure. So, you know, if you look at the historical meaning of this card, this is actually a female. It's two men, okay, who have come to gain approval of their blueprint or their plans for a building that is almost identical to the one that they're in. They're consulting with an expert. But when I look at it, I see a man and a woman trying to get approval of their relationship, okay? Trying to figure out how are we going to get people to accept us. A lot of people a lot of readers interpret this card as, if it's a love reading, as, you know, an indication that you've met someone in the workplace that you're involved with. So I think that's a pretty fair interpretation of the cards possible. So I'll just throw that out, okay? Those three ideas out to you. That's coming in your very near future. You may be able to figure it out depending on which Cancer you are. You probably will be able to figure out what situation applies to you. All right, let's look at the energies. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, you're good at this. So this is the card of Pisces. This is the moon. But this card is all about tapping in to your intuition, gaining some knowledge that is hidden. So you may feel that you don't have all of the information or the knowledge that you need is in the realm of the subconscious, okay? Get a good night's sleep is what I would say when this card comes up. The path to better bodies is there. It is a nighttime card. The moon desperately wants to tell you something. Look at the look on his face. Look, he's so concentrated. But he needs you to fall asleep in order for you. He needs you to get rest in order for you to obtain that information, or meditation or something. Okay? Yeah, and I mean the pillars flank the moon here. In all of tarot, pillars will flank a sacred place of knowledge. So the knowledge that you need is intuitive knowledge. So it's in the realm of the subconscious. It's esoteric. You've got to tap into it. You need some sleep or meditation to do that. Okay? And you're going to do it because that's the energy you're bringing in. And you are the Queen of Cups. You are probably the most comfortable with your subconscious information, your subconscious memories, your subconscious knowledge, and your emotions. You are the most comfortable with that than any other character in this tarot deck. One exception, the High Priestess. Okay. So now these are things that are acting on the situation that you cannot avoid. This is wonderful. There's a Virgo. Okay. I'm looking at the Hermit. Also, if it doesn't represent a Virgo, it could just mean that either you have a massive amount of knowledge that came from experience, okay, including spiritual mastery. This could be you, or that somebody with that knowledge will be able to share it with you. Let me explain. So the Hermit just showed up. This is the major arcana card of Virgo. There he is. I'm just waiting for the tape to break because it's good. Okay, so hi Cancer. We're looking at outside influences that will impact on this situation no matter what. And the Hermit came up. So either a Virgo is important to you. If you are interested in a Virgo, he is really studying you because he is in the layout. You're over here, okay, and you're here, and he's looking right at you. So he look at how in that lantern, that there is a 6-pointed star, which is supposed to be symbolic of the seal of wisdom, or Solomon's, ancient seal of wisdom. Other interpretations is that it's the universe inside the lantern, and the Hermit is guided by the universe. One fun interpretation of this is that just look how it's almost like he's trying to figure out how to get to what's in the lantern. Maybe that's you. Okay, this is someone who really wants to get to you, but he can't for some reason. Maybe you guys, I don't know. Anyway, you would know. So if it isn't a Virgo, this could be you. Okay, this could be you applying the wisdom that you gain through your own experiences, good or bad, as well as spiritual mastery. The Hermit has been through it all, okay? He's coming down from the mountain now to share his knowledge, and he is incredibly wise. You'll notice the white beard that he has. Anyone in the tarot deck with a white beard is sort of, according to Mr. Waite, is sort of, we're sort of comparing them to God, okay? So that's how incredibly spiritual the Hermit is. Okay, so far this is phenomenally good. So we're going to look at your hopes and fears. Oh, wonderful. You are, the card of hope just came up. This is the Star. So this is the card of Aquarius, in one word for this card, hope, okay? So this is wonderful. You are being very positive. You're also healing, and this is in your nature, Cancer, to do healing. She heals, she nurtures the spiritual, which the water is supposed to represent, as well as the earth. There's the 7 chakras that she's able to balance and heal. She's amazing. So you are hopeful and you do believe that you can obtain this thing that is as far away as a star. So we are at the point now where we have to turn over the final outcome card. So, okay, sorry. I'm always telling people not to panic and I always panic at this point. Okay. What's the final outcome for Cancer? This is exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about. After all that, and we just got the Ten of Swords. Okay, just don't panic. I'm going to pause the tape for 1 second while I think about this. Okay, so I'm quite certain this is not you. Let me just talk about what the Ten of Swords generally relates to, okay? Just very generally, and I'm trying to be as objective as possible. It relates to something that's already over. The suffering's already done, okay? It was a bit overkill. What I see it as is someone who was very difficult in your life, who kept coming back over and over and over again, and you finally decided, look, I have to recognize that I cannot make this work. I've got to put this person to rest or put them in my past. Was there a Gemini causing you problems? Because the Ten of Swords relates to Gemini. I'm just trying to remember what was in Gemini's reading. We're going to clarify now in a minute. But anyway, look, other readers will say, regarding this card, that the worst is over, and it is true. That's not them trying to be positive about it. So you may already know what this is, okay? You may already know what this is, and let me just, or you may have a sort of an indication. You might be able to imagine what it might be. Let me just say this. If there has been a situation that is recurring that you've tried, generally you feel like you've tried in the past everything to fix it, or you keep going back out with someone, they keep screwing up and making the same mistakes and causing you the same grief. That's what this card, the type of thing this card talks about. You've got to just walk away. Just cut them out of your life, okay? Get rid of them. Because in all likelihood, they backstabbed you, okay? But this is, all readers will tell you this is already done, okay? And you may already know what it is. We're going to have to clarify, okay? Okay, can we get some clarification for what that Ten of Swords is for Cardinal Water, please? Okay, so something, actually, how many? 2. Okay, so 2 cards. We're going to look at this. Well, first of all, this could be really good. Let me first talk about if this is you ending this, okay? Yeah, this is you ending a shitty relationship, possibly with an earth sign. Yeah, definitely with an earth sign, because the other card that came up was the Nine of Pentacles, which relates to, really all the earth signs, but more specifically, you've ended something either with a Capricorn or Taurus, I think. Or Virgo. Okay, if you haven't ended it, I believe that you are going to end it. Even if you think it's difficult, it's not. This man and this woman there, yeah, this is about you ending an unhealthy love relationship. Possibly this other person did not respect your boundaries, because one of the messages of this card, you'll notice that the man and the woman, it looks like they're chained together, but if you look really closely at the chains around their neck, they're quite loose, and both of them could just do this and walk away. When this speaks to addictions and stuff, which it does not here, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but when it does, the message is the same, that just stop, But the deck just threw me out the Nine of Pentacles quite deliberately with the card of Capricorn. So it tells me that I think you're ending something with an earth sign who is just doing the same thing over and over and over again, okay? Driving you nuts. You kept giving the person a second chance, or they stabbed you in the back, something like that. Quelque chose comme ça. I'm looking at let's just look at this card here that gave us the total heads up about what this was. It could be that this other person was too materialistic. It could be that they just didn't, like, they were poking into your Facebook or your social media stuff. That's someone who doesn't respect boundaries. There's a lot of people who think that that's normal in a relationship. They really do think that's normal. Give me your cell phone. Let me look through your messages. Yeah, and I mean, it's definitely in relation to love. Just look at the way the devil is seated. There's a heart there. The way he's sitting, not cross-legged, but he's got his knees and his legs up, and it forms a heart. It could be someone that sort of objectified you because, this relates to, not not materialism, but when it comes to looking at other people, just wanting someone who's attractive and not caring about what's on the inside, wanting the trophy. Maybe that this person just treated you as their trophy, okay, and was unwilling to appreciate the inside. I hope that I'm hitting on something here, but this should give you comfort. And I think that Tarot, in throwing this out, apart from telling us that this relates to an earth sign, I think they're telling you, you're going to be golden. This is a single woman, but she is doing great on her own financially, and everybody wants to date her, by the way. So you shouldn't have any problem, Cancer. Okay, look at just what's at the bottom of the deck. Yeah. Cancer, footnote, okay? There's two possible, I'm just going to footnote this. Either you ended something with an earth sign, and in addition, they were moving too slowly, okay? Or Tarot wants you to know that there is an earth sign coming in with an offer after all this, okay? So that really was a happy ending, even though it was a little bit frightening at the beginning. Okay, the Ten of Swords is a bit of a dramatic card, but that looked beautiful, the way that Tarot clarified that for us, and quite clearly. Okay, Merry Christmas, Cancer. I hope you enjoyed your Christmas Celtic Cross. Let me know who that earth sign is. Okay.